Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be doing an update on my chopping block project, which is sort of a project pan hybrid project. And I will link that first video if you have not already seen that, so that'll kind of give you a place to jump off from. But today we're going to be talking about the items that I started this project with, and my thoughts on them and what items maybe I'll be rolling out. And I also am going to be moving in some new items today. So I have some notes. If you see me looking down, I have some notes right here. So first, let's just talk about the items that are in the project right now or were in the project, and what my thoughts are on them, and if I'm moving them out or leaving them in or what I'm doing. So let's start off with the Morphe to Hint Hint Skin Tint. So this was one that I put in my project, not because I don't know how I feel about it, because I do. I have used this pretty regularly. Part of the reason I rolled it in was, one, because it's been in my collection a really long time, and I started to notice that it was separating more than usual. It didn't have a weird smell. It didn't really apply any differently, but I kind of worry about it going off. So I wanted to use it up a little bit. But one thing that I have figured out, and I did buy this in the summertime, and so it did get most of its wear in the summer months. So one thing that I did notice about this is that it's a little too warm for me right now. So, I think what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to roll it out for now, and I'm actually going to hang on to it until it warms up a little bit and see how I feel about it then, and hopefully it doesn't go bad in the meantime. If it does, obviously I'll declutter it, but I just cannot make this work. I've tried a couple different things to make it look better on my skin, but it's just a little bit too deep for me right now. So this is the shade Hint Hint Marshmallow, or Hint of Marshmallow, I apologize. So I think I'm going to roll this out for now, and then I will just use this in the summertime and use it up as much as I can before it goes bad. So I love this. It's just not the right shade for me right now. The next item I have is, and if you saw my empties video, this will be a spoiler. There's a couple spoilers in that video, but this is the Too Faced Brow Wig in the shade Medium Brown. I have used this up, well, effectively have used it up. So one thing that I found with this was that as I got towards the end of it and had less product in the tube, it started to get really messy. So I wasn't picking up as much product on the wand, and I was having to push a little bit harder to get what I was picking up to deposit onto my actual brow. So it was getting like super messy kind of around, and it just became kind of a pain to use. So I do think that there is some, like when I pull the wand out, there is still some like fibers and stuff in there, but it's not as wet as it used to be, and it's not pulling out nearly as much, and it's just a pain to use. So I'm calling this empty. If you saw my empties videos, you already know that, but this is empty. So putting that with my makeup empties. Next up is the Emily Edit The Needs palette. So I picked this up at Marshall's over the summer for a trip I was going on, because it has everything. I mean, it has all the powders you need. It's got face powder, like setting powder. It's got bronzer, blush, and highlight, and then it's got some eyeshadows in it. So first and foremost, I am not super drawn to these shadows. I don't really know why. I can't quite put my finger on it, but they just haven't got much use. I don't feel myself drawn to them. The powders, however, I like all of these face powders. This setting powder is great. These all are pretty good. I do sometimes notice some patchiness, and I don't know if that is what I'm wearing underneath it, because I don't notice it all the time. So it could just be what I'm wearing underneath it, and it could be the formula. I do also think that this bronzer is actually getting hard panned, because it's harder to pick up product. That could also be because of the pan size. I mean, I can't really like push my brush into that because it's so small. You can see how dirty it is around it. It's very difficult to get a brush into that. I mean, that's something I pointed out in my previous video. It's quite an annoyance for me. I like to use big fluffy brushes, so it's kind of frustrating for me not to be able to do that with this palette. So I'm just looking at this at my notes here really quick, make sure I'm not missing anything. Yeah, so I still don't know exactly how I feel about this. I want to keep it in a little bit longer, play with it some more, kind of see what I want to do. I mean, I'm almost kind of considering pulling these pans out of here and putting them in like a Z palette or something. I don't own a Z palette, so that's something I'd have to purchase, which I am on a no-buy year, so I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with this, but I'm going to keep playing with it, see how I feel. I'm still trying to decide. Like I said, it's kind of one of those things where I'm trying to figure out like what it works best with. And I don't know. I'm not done with this yet. I'm going to keep it in, keep getting some use out of it. So I've got a special visitor with me today. This is Callie. Hi, Meow. Hi, Meow. The dogs aren't in here, so they're not mean to her, but she's very much like, doesn't like to hang out with the dogs that much. So, hi, Meow. Isn't she pretty? He's a pretty Meow. We have 2 dogs and 2 cats. I don't know if you've seen my other cat, Griswold, but this one's Callie. Okay, next product. This is my Winky Lux Gloss. So I don't know if you can tell on camera, but I have been like pushing this down off the sides. I have gotten quite a bit of use out of this. So I'm gonna just do a little bit of that now. See if it shows up on camera, but this is almost done. Can you guys see where it's lighter pink and then it's darker at the bottom? It's literally like down to here. So I'm almost done with this. I rolled this into the project because I wanted to use it up because it's my lowest gloss. Like I'm almost done with it and I just want to get it done. I really like the formula. This is the pH gloss from Winky Lux in the shade Raspberry. I really, really like this formula. I'm kind of sad because I don't want to see it go, but I'm glad it's getting used and it'll be a great makeup empty to put in my empties. So I really love this. My feelings about it have not changed. Still love it. It's still great. Almost done. Okay. Next one is and again, this is a spoiler from my empties. This is the Milani Highly Rated Anti-Gravity Mascara. This is empty. I don't know why everybody likes this. I've said this every time I've spoken about this product, I've said, I don't understand the hype about this. It claims to do everything, volumize, lengthen. It doesn't do any of that well, at least not for me. It gets really clumpy. I get those balls like on the end of my lashes, which are not cute. Let's see, what else did I put on here? It balls up really badly. I had to go in with a lash comb more often than not just to kind of separate everything. And I hate to do that. It's so annoying. It did flake off on me. I did notice it like kind of flaking underneath, and I did notice I was getting flakes in my eyes. So I'm glad this is done. Honestly, it was my oldest mascara. I put it in the project just to use it up. But I just did not enjoy this. And if you love this product, will you tell me why? Because it just didn't really do much for me other than cause me troubles. So anyway, I will say it didn't smudge. So that's a good thing. Although, to be fair, I don't wear mascara on my lower lash line, so I can't tell you whether or not it would smudge on your lower lashes, but I never noticed smudging with my upper lashes. So this one's done. It's rolling out, obviously, and I'm happy to see it go. So, okay, let's see what's next on my list. Oh, this is the Wet n Wild Dual-Ended Contour Stick. I used this a number of times. So here is the contour side, and this is the highlight side. So my issues with this kind of remained the same from my previous video. The highlight side, all it really does is put down like a light color. It doesn't provide really much of a sheen, and that's the kind of highlight I prefer. I'm not going into it for like light and shadow, like a true contour. I want something that provides a little bit of a gleam to it, and this does not offer that. My issues with and obviously you can tell I've got more use out of this. It's much more domed. But my issues with the contour initially were mostly just that it is kind of the wrong shade. And that held up true to after I started using this more. It kind of pulls a little bit red on me. I wouldn't even say it's orange. It really pulls more of like a reddish tone, which does not flatter my skin tone at all. I also had an issue with it picking up the product underneath. So I started out by like drawing it on, and that was especially bad when I would draw it on and then kind of buff it out. It really picked up product. So then I just started taking my brush and kind of like taking it off the stick and then putting it on. That was a little bit better. Let's see. I think the biggest issue with this, another big issue, is that when you blend it out, if you don't have enough, it blends out to nothing. But then if I add more, it tends to be too much. And again, with that red undertone, it just looks a little odd on me. I think with this one, this is the first contour stick type product that I have ever purchased. I now have another one. I have the Ilma Double Take, and I love that one. The tones on that one are much better for me. But when I bought this, I guess I didn't know what I didn't know, and I didn't know what else was out there. And so this was good for me until I figured out something better, and I found shades that worked better for me and kind of figured out that it was the wrong. So this is one that I actually think I'm going to declutter, because after having used it, I don't think it's the right formula for me. I don't think it's the right shade for me. And yeah, so this is going to be one that I roll out, and I'm going to declutter it. So it'll go in with my declutter stuff, and I'm going to probably do periodic declutters as I'm kind of doing this project, and then kind of do like a cumulative. So anyway, this one's rolling out. Say goodbye to the Wet n Wild. Now, if the tones work for you, I would recommend this product for you. I didn't hate it when I picked the product up on a brush, but it's not right for me. So bye-bye. Okay, what is next? Okay, next is the e.l.f. Jelly Highlight in Cloud. I was pleasantly surprised by this product. It's a strange, if you've never seen this one, it is a little bit strange. It is like very liquidy. It is, can you see it like moving around in there? I don't know if that's going to pick up. It's a very liquidy jelly product, which is what it's called a jelly highlighter. But I was not sure how I felt about this at all. One of my issues with this is that it does set down very quickly, so you do have to work with it quickly if you're using it on its own. I found this really beautiful to mix in with the liquid blush that's in this project right now. I actually also found that this makes a great neutral one and done shadow. So I would just put a base on, like I would put on my Ulta Beauty eye primer, and then I would put this on my finger and just kind of swipe it on. And it offered a really beautiful like shimmer. Hi, meow. It offered a really beautiful shimmer, but it was very close to my skin tone, so it wasn't super obvious, and it was great for like very light makeup days where I just wanted it to be like, look like just mascara, or like I wasn't really wearing a ton. This was great for that. So that was very surprising to me. I was very happy to find that out. So I'm gonna keep this one in my collection, but I am gonna roll it out of this project because I do like it and I don't wanna get rid of it, but that's kind of the purpose of this project, is to figure out if it's something that I wanna keep or use up or not. So I do want to keep it. I don't think it's realistic for me to use this up. There's a lot of product in here, but I do want to keep it in my collection. So this was a surprise, very pleasant surprise. If you can find this, I recommend it. It's great. Okay, the last product that we started with was this Maybelline Cheek Heat in the shade Nude Burn. So this one, again, it was one that I was trying to figure out what my feelings were about it. And my initial thoughts were that sometimes it's difficult to work with because it also would set down pretty quickly. Again, I found this to be really great mixed with that jelly highlighter. It kind of made them easier to work with when you put them together. But I also found that using this with the right brush helped too, something that's not quite as dense. So I actually have really been enjoying this. And the application, it goes on well. My only issue that I've discovered is that it actually fades pretty quickly. Even if I use like a setting powder and like a setting spray, I feel like I don't get much longevity out of this one. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to keep it in the project because it's very close to done. So like, I don't know if you can see, it doesn't have a ton left. So I'd like to actually finish this. So I'm going to keep this in the project. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try putting this on and then doing like a powder blush over top and see if that helps with longevity, and just kind of figure out a way to make it work. Because I would love to finish this. That would be really, I feel like that'd be a big win for me. So I'm going to keep this in and I'm going to try and finish it. So I don't know. I think I would recommend it. It's a very kind of basic product, and yeah, I think I would recommend this. So Okay, so that's all the products that were initially in the project. So we've rolled out a few. We've rolled out, obviously, the Milani and the mascara and the brown mascara. Those have rolled out because they're empty. We rolled out the jelly highlighter. We rolled out the contour stick because I'm decluttering that. We're rolling out the Morphe tint. So I'm going to roll in a few more products, and I'm going to show you about them now. So most of these are complexion products. Well, I guess not most of them. So if you saw my previous video, I have a couple of products that I used in that are a few products. Actually, most of them are from that video. But I have some products here that I used in that video, and it was not a good experience for me. I will link that video if you want to see it. They did not look cute on my skin, you guys. So, yeah, but I want to give them a fair shot. So I've used them a couple more times since that video, and I want to keep seeing if I can make it work. I'll be honest, I don't have a lot of hope for these, but I'm going to try it. So the first one is I'll start with underneath, the Catrice Grip and Last Putty Primer. So this was the primer that I used in that video, and I need to figure out if it was this or the foundation that wasn't working for me, or if it was just them together, or if it was both of them. I don't know. But I want to try some more of this. This is the only type of this kind of primer that I have in my collection. I've never used anything like this before, and I've never used like a pore filling primer like this. So I would love to pair it with a couple other different foundations to see how it works and if it does work. And so I'm going to give this, another go for a little while, see if I can make it work. And yeah, so that's the primer I'm putting in. This is the Catrice True Skin in 002 Neutral Ivory. I think this is the wrong shade. I know that this is the wrong shade for me, but what I'm trying to figure out is if I even like the formula and if I can make the shade work. Like if I can mix it with something else. Like actually, now that I'm sitting here looking, maybe I could mix it with this skin tint and make that work for me. So I might try that. But I just want to see if there's a way to make this work, because this thing gets such rave reviews. And I would love to be one of those rave reviews, but I just don't want to give up on it. So I'm going to wear this a little bit more, see if I can make it work, see if I can mix it with something else, or if it's just a lost cause. So yeah, this is going in. That video, you guys, I don't know if it was translating well on camera, but it looked so bad on my skin, like just really bad. Another one from that video is the Catrice True Skin High Coverage Concealer. Now, I loved the coverage of this actually. I'm actually wearing that today. My biggest issue with this is I think it's too yellow. So I actually even today kind of feel like it's making my under eyes look a little sickly. I do have dark circles under my eyes, so I think I need to use a color corrector with this. Even though it does have really great high coverage, I still think I need to use a pink color corrector to make this color work under my eyes. So I want to give this a little bit more use, see if I can get it to work for me, because again, I love the coverage. And once it sets down and you get it out of the creases, it actually stays out of the creases and doesn't crease up anymore. So yeah, just gonna give that one some more time, try it out. Let's see what else. Oh, another one from that video. This is the Milk Makeup Rise Mascara. I know a lot of people hate this. I actually have seen that some people love this. I think it's one of those things where you either love it or you hate it. I'm wearing this today as well. And I said this in my last video too. This did not really do much for me. It tinted it gave me color on my lashes, but it did not volumize. It did not lengthen. It didn't really do anything, and it's still not really doing anything. It just makes my lashes darker. So I don't think I hate it. I didn't notice it flaking. I haven't noticed that much yet, although it is a very dry formula. And that was one of my other things is it's so dry. I'm wondering if it's drier than it's supposed to be. So I'm going to do a little bit of digging on that and see, but I have it open. I don't hate it, but I'm not just super impressed by it. I actually think what I might try to do is pair this with a, like a lash serum, because I have this Essence Volume Booster Lash Primer. So I think what I might do is I might pair these up together and see if the primer helps and gives this a little bit more oomph. But we'll see. So actually we'll probably, yeah, that's how I think I'm gonna try and do that. But yeah, so we'll see if I can make that work for me, or I might just try and use it up. If it's terrible and I start to notice flaking or irritation or whatever, obviously I'll declutter it, but I have it open and I don't hate it, so I might as well use it up. So the next item is actually a brow product. So this is the Revlon Brow Fantasy in Brunette. And I actually really like this. So it's kind of cool. It's a unique product, I think. It's got a pencil on one end, and then this is a brow mascara. And I actually really love the formula of both of these, both the pencil and the brow mascara. And this is just a darker shade. So my hair is darker in the wintertime. I always feel a little bit more auburn, coppery auburn in the winter. So I want to use this while my hair is a little bit darker so that I can use it before it goes bad. I don't know how long brow mascaras last, but I've had this one a little while, and so I just kind of want to focus on using it as much as I can while my hair is darker. This is one of those ones where I would love to just use it up if I can. So that one's going in. The last two products are two more complexion products. So I'm really trying to, the last two are complexion products. So I am really trying to narrow in on my foundations and concealers and primers that I really like. So that's kind of where I'm focusing, I think, for a little bit, just to kind of get that narrowed down. I bought a lot of foundations and concealers last year, so I would really like to figure out which ones work for me and get rid of the ones that don't. So the first one is actually this Tarte Face Tape Sample. This is in the shade 12N Fair Neutral. This came in the Ipsy bag that I forgot to cancel, or one of the Ipsy bags. I referenced that in my previous video, but anyways, I had subscribed to Ipsy, forgot to cancel it, received 2 bags because the first one was delayed. Anyway, this came in that, and I just want to see if I like it. I've never used it before, so I don't even know if it's the right shade for me, but it's a little guy, so I'd love to just use it up if it's the right, like if I put it on and I like it and it's the right shade for me, I would love to just use this one up. So that one's going in. And then this one is the Believe Beauty, it says Skin Finish Foundation Medium to Full Coverage. This is in the shade Linen. So this is the one that you can get at Dollar General. I don't generally prefer full coverage. I'm actually wearing it today, and I don't think it looks terrible on my skin. I actually think it's a pretty good shade match for me. So I don't think that's an issue. I don't always love the way full coverage products sit on my skin. I am much more of like a skin tint or like a light medium coverage person. But if this works for me, I would love to have this in my collection in case I want a more full glam, full coverage look. So this would be, I think this would be the only full coverage product in my inventory. So I want to see if this works for me. If it doesn't, then I'll declutter it because I don't see any reason to keep it if it's not the right shade or whatever. But I really hope it does because this one also gets rave reviews. So far, I like it. I'm going to try it out a couple more times, and this is one that I think is probably not going to get a ton of use over the next month, but I just want to try it a few times, see if it's something I like to keep in there for those instances. So, Believe Beauty Foundation. I will say, this feels very like, I mean, it's luxe. It feels heavy. It's in a glass bottle. I love the lid. I think it looks really nice. This is, I'm honestly surprised by the quality of this for $5 at Dollar General. So anyway, okay guys, that is it for my updates. Yeah, this has been I think this is going to be really fun for me. I didn't know how I would really feel about project panning, and I know this is a little bit of a divergence from a normal project pan, but for me, I really feel like I need to get better acquainted with a lot of the products in my inventory because I did purchase so many so quickly over a very short period of time, and I really want to figure out what I actually need and what I actually want to keep and what will work for me. So that's why I'm kind of structuring it this way, and I feel like that's really working for me so far, and I hope that that's entertaining or helpful for you. And if you like this, I hope you'll stick around, follow the project. If you enjoyed this video, make sure and give it a thumbs up. If you made it all this way, you might as well give it a thumbs up. And you also might as well subscribe because you made it all this way. So make sure you hit that alarm bell too so you always get notified of my uploads. And thanks for watching, guys. See you in my next one. Bye.